Hello friends, in this video we are going to learn how to implement RDBMS system in SQL Server practically. In the previous session we seen what is RDBMS, what are the different types of relationship in RDBMS, then what are the different data models in RDBMS. It's like the conceptual, logical, physical, and in conceptual we identify entity and what are the different entities are available in that model. I And second thing, logical model means once we identified the entity, suppose student edit entity is identified, at that time we can check what are the different types of attributes, means columns associated to that particular entity, and what is the relationship between that particular two entity. So all these things we checked in logical model, and in physical model we have to actual design of the particular database. And in the last session we seen there is a we identified some entity, and there is a design of this entity, and in this session we are going to learn how to implement this database in SQL Server. So let's start. First of all, I will create the database at here, SIMS School Information Management System, and I have one query. Here I am selecting SIMS, yes, Control O, then RDBMS, yes. And as per this entity I am creating one by one table, means after student then there is a class, then there is a department, subject, likewise. Yes, create table student. So table is created. So there are four columns, means student ID, name, city, and phone number. And here is the identity, means one by one that column will increment, column value will increment. And here is the primary key, means we are applying the primary key constant to this particular column. And this is the integer, this is the data type, varchar 50, it is the data type, means this field can allow 50 characters inside it. For this city, same here, means 50 characters they will allow. And phone number, integer. So in the upcoming sessions I will explain about the data types in detail. This is integer, varchar, these are the some different data types. And if I have to store the date, then there is a date time, so that data type we have to use. But right now we are just creating this table, and I am explaining you shortly how that model will uh, create. And we have to just check, yeah, it is the practically we have to see how that model is built. And yes, I am inserting four records into the student table, execute, yeah. And when I am selecting select star from student, means it is just we inserted four records in the table, and we have to retrieve that records from the student table, then select star from student, we have to execute it. And star, it means all the columns. If I am saying as a id, then I will get only one column, student id, student id from student. So four columns. And if I will use, yeah, student, select star from student, then I will get all the information about that particular table, means all the columns. Then next is class. Here is the class table, and it having six rows. So I will create the class and six rows. And if I select, then I am getting 6 records. So third one is the department, it having 3 records. Okay, and this is the department value, computer, IT, and mechanical. And there is a subject is the table. Here is the subject table, and there are 4 records in it. So select start from subject. Okay, and there is a faculty. Here is the comment, means we have to make a single comment in SQL Server, then we can use uh, this um, for comment line. And if I have to comment the multiple lines, then there is a slash star, then star slash, so multi-line comment. And yes, faculty table is created, and I have to insert 4 records. So 4 records will create. And yes, so this level is done, means, and right now I have to implement the relationship between the student and class table. So how to implement? There is a different relationship, like the many to one, one to many. Many to one means multiple student, one class. Same way in a reverse direction, one class, multiple student. So these are nothing but the one. And I have to combine two tables data into one, means student and class. This is the normalization concept, and in the upcoming session we will cover that, means first NF, second NF, third NF rules. Yeah. And student class ID, this is the self column for that particular student class, and it is the identity one. And student ID is uh, this is the foreign key, and class ID is also foreign key, which is from the student. In student table, this is the primary key, and here is the foreign key, because here we will know, yeah, for which student is means that particular one student is belongs to which class. This Ketan student belongs to which class, so that information we are getting at here. And yes, so for foreign key, if I have to create the foreign key, then what I will use, first of all, let's say I'm cut here, and let's say this is the column, and then data type, and then um, identity or primary key. These are the uh, some constraints or keys we have to create at here. And there is also, means here, like column name, then data type, and not null is the constraint, means that particular student ID does not, that column does not allow null value. And I am this foreign key, means I have to apply the foreign key on student ID column, and which references student table, and which column we have to reference student ID. So means this student ID is reference, here is the foreign key column, and which is referencing to the student column, and with student ID is the student table, and student ID is the column. So that particular student ID does not allow different value which is not present in this student ID. Suppose I'm trying to insert at here 5, so it will not allow, because that particular value is referencing from the student table, student ID column. Okay, same at here, class, for the class as well. And I'm creating this table. So what it does, actually there is a student class is created, and I am inserting 4 records in it. So what will happen? Here is the student is the table, means I am getting select star from student. Then there is a class, and for this table I created 2 columns, means there is a student ID and class ID, which is the foreign key from student ID is foreign key from the student, and class ID is foreign key from the class ID. And I have to display this data to you user. Then what I will use, right now I am using the star, just for your understanding. And first of all, when I am using the star, at that time what I will get, here is the student class is the first table, so I will get all the columns of it. Then second table student, so I am getting the student information. Then third one is the class, and it is the C or SC or yes, this is the allies for the particular table name. And if I have to select only name, means what I will use, yes dot name comma um, class name, C dot class name. Yeah, means Rahul is belongs to FIIT, Kiran belongs to FIIT. Yeah, and let's go through the database diagram. So we created five tables in it, and I have to implement the many to many or one to many relationship. So here is the database diagram. I am creating new one. Yes, and so I have to add the first of all entity. Instead of that, I will student class and right click on it, then table view standard. So here you will get uh, complete information about, means which is the column name, what is the data type, and it will allow null or not. Yeah, so that information we are getting at here. And here is the class name. So same structure I'm following. Here is the city, allow null. Allow null means if we um, not providing any city to that particular record, then it will keep as a null value. And third table I will add here, student class. This is nothing but the parent table, means student class, these are the parent table, and this is nothing but the child table, student class, because it is derived from we are getting the information from these two tables in it. And table view I make it as a standard. And if you see, there is a highlighted in a yellow, there is a primary key. This is the primary key symbol, and it is also primary key symbol. And here is the key, and you are getting the information about that relationship, means um, class is the primary key in the class called class table, and which is referred in student class. So there is a class ID, and this is the foreign key. If you click on it, here is the foreign key, and here is the primary key. So this is student class is the foreign key, means a child table of class table. And same at here, means student class, student is the table, and student ID is the column. So student ID is available in a student class. So here is the foreign key. If we over on it, then student and student class relationship. Yeah. In the next session, we will continue the remaining part. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, share it, and please subscribe my channel. Thanks. Bye bye.